Jim, on the topic of AEW, this got into the news and several listeners have sent over various things about it. Photos from MJF's wedding. Have you seen this?
I just heard about this yesterday. I didn't get my invitation. It must have been lost in the mail. But apparently he married Alicia Atout.
That is right. That is correct. And
she's now Alicia Atout.
What's his name?
Friedman. Furbag. What is that?
Well, it's funny.
He took his name.
It's funny, Jim. The first time I saw, I think either one of them was in a promo together. The one where he called her Tits McGee from Whore Island. That was the first time I saw either one of them, and now they are married. But the photos.
That's a good name, Tits McGee. I gotta fucking write that down. Use that sometime.
Well, the photos have gone around. According to Dave Meltzer, apparently MJF is saying that he's not happy about it. That people went on the social media pages of various friends and family and distributed the pictures. But these pictures.
Well, wait a minute. Now, are you mad? Are you mad then at the people that walked through the parking lot, found the lost money, and gave it to charity? Or are you mad at the people that were careless and lost the money in the parking lot to begin with? Huh?
I'm asking you. You're the...
I just asked you a question.
But I'm turning it around to you. You're the star of the show.
Then he ought to be pissed off at his friends that had to plaster it all over social media if he didn't want the goddamn pictures. That's why I had to quit taking pictures. I'll tell you, because people just put them every goddamn where.
Well, Jim, as we're talking about this, some of this needs to be visual, so I've just sent you an email with an image, a group shot, a large AEW contingent, babyface and heel, man,
exactly,
woman, and human, all together.
Persons with other people.
Various persons here. I've sent you this to your email address, and of course...
It ain't got here yet.
The question the fans are wondering is, what do you think of this going public? The idea that you have this group photo, somehow the groom is not the man in the middle, it's someone else. But this group photo of everyone from AEW, what are your thoughts on this dissemination?
Well, it just landed here, so I will look at it right now. Jesus Christ, it's a big crowd. Wait a minute, why is Tony Khan next to MJF? Where is the MJF's wife? It's Tony Khan hugging MJF. And then some fucking bald guy that looks like he works for the building is next to Tony, and then the wife.
I think that's MJF's father, based on AEW TV in the past.
So Tony got in between MJF and his father at MJF's wedding?
Well, again, it looks like an AEW group shot. Of course, if Tony wasn't going to be in the middle.
Tony Schiavone, where does Schiavone live these days? He's still in Charlotte? He live in Atlanta now.
I thought he was in Georgia at least a few years ago.
Yeah, he's lived in Atlanta in recent times. Where was this wedding? Why would you expect a man the age of Schiavone to fucking travel that far?
Well, if Tony Khan's flying everyone in, why not?
Boy, if you weren't married and you were going to get married and I had to get on a plane to go to your wedding, you wouldn't see me at your wedding. The good thing about this, though, there's the girls and there's the guys and there's baby faces and heels, but luckily I only know who about 3 of these people are. Tony Schiavone, Danny Garcia trying to peep his way over MJF's shoulder, and otherwise, you wouldn't really know who any of these people are if they were walking down the street, so it's not breaking kayfabe.
Well, obviously, Karen Jarrett and Jeff behind her on the right there. And on the left, one of the big things that people are complaining about, or at least people are talking about.
Wait a minute. I see Karen now. I didn't know that was Jeff, but see, it's a very small photo. But I thought that was Kenny Rogers or a Kenny Rogers impersonator rather than Jeff Jarrett.
But Hangman Adam Page is in this photo. What are your thoughts?
Oh, yeah. Who's the guy that either looks like a Vivid Video porn agent or a wannabe Barry Gibb on the left, right next to Page? Who is that?
I believe that's Kip Sabian and Penelope.
Well, Pip looks bigger than he does on television, I guess, just next to all these people that are smaller. What did you ask about? But Paige shouldn't be there with MJF, should he? Aren't they mad at each other?
They're in a feud. They're in a top feud. Paige is the babyface AEW champion who's been having these issues with MJF, and this photo gets out.
Well, no wonder he's standing all the way 10 feet away with like 8 or 10 people in between him. So thankfully, elsewise, the whole thing could have degenerated into a brawl.
Is this an issue? Should it be an issue?
Well, yeah, it's not an issue that they all went to the wedding. It's an issue that none of these dumb shits are smart enough not to put pictures of baby faces and heels up on Facebook or wherever for everybody to see it. But you don't expect anything different because most of this generation thinks there's nothing wrong with it and hasn't been taught properly. And apparently nobody in this generation has been taught how to take a good picture or how to pose a large group either. Because half these people, you can't even see who the fuck it is. Their heads are obscured. Their faces are obscured. Many of them, their appearances improved by that method. But goddamn, what you needed to do was get the tallest people to stand up in the back and then get the shortest people to kneel down in the front. And then get the medium people to stand in the middle. And now you don't have to go out so wide and you can get a little closer on people's faces. There are pictures of the moon that are farther away than I guess these people are not recognizable. It's terrible photography. Did they pay this person?
Again, I don't know who's I have no idea what the hell.
Well, how did you get this picture?
Because it's all over the internet.
Were you there?
I certainly was not.
Well, it would have been a bigger haul also if you'd had anything to do with it. It looks like they're in the goddamn breezeway of a Hilton Garden Inn.
Well, listen, the question has come up. What would Bill Watts do? How would Bill Watts?
He'd have come in there with a big stick and walked tall and knocked the punch over. Taken a big piece of cake and fired everybody, or at least fined them $50.
The idea of baby faces and heels, let alone the top baby face, and you could argue one of the top heels who are feuding with each other, both being there. Tony Khan jumped into the fray and said, Alicia is a great person, and the fan favorites came to support her on her big night. Now that's a Bill Watts explanation.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Is that acceptable to Watts?
No, that explanation the only connection to Bill Watts would be it smelled as bad as one of Bill Watts's jock straps. No, that's ridiculous. And also, nobody knows who Alicia is because she's only on a Saturday night show that when she interviews people for 30 seconds. And so it's not like she would engender this goddamn outpouring of. And besides, why would they have to go to support her? Because they realize she's making a mistake of her life, marrying a weasel like MJF? Why didn't they just elope? For heaven's sake. It could have saved everybody all this trouble. We wouldn't have had to fucking dissect this. None of these people would have had to left their homes to go to this goddamn wedding. Does anybody go to a wedding for fun? Have you ever gone to a wedding where you enjoyed yourself?
I'm not a big fan of other people's weddings. I don't have a good time at these things, though.
So it's a lot like other people's children. You're happy that they have them, but you don't want to fucking participate your own self.
Well, again, maybe they've been dreaming of a big wedding for years, filled with all their favorite wrestling stars.
These are all their fucking favorite people, then goddamn, they need to go back to dreaming. But how did Vladimir, the super fan, how did he get in the back row there?
What?
See him peeking up over?
That's not. Is that Vladimir?
next to the.
I don't think that's Vladimir.
There's a guy over Danny Garcia's shoulder that looks like he's auditioning to be the next Svengoolie.
Yeah, that guy does look ghastly, like something's wrong.
Is that Cash Wheeler or a guy cosplaying as Timmy White next to him? And then there's Vladimir over the top of his head.
I don't think that's Cash Wheeler, is it?
Well,
no,
I don't know. See this again? It's a bad photo.
Who's the guy?
It's a guy with a round head and a beard.
And there's a guy next to him pointing at his dick. Who's that?
Well, now, too many pronouns, pal. Are you saying he's pointing at the other guy's dick or his own dick?
Well, look, there's only one guy with his hand out like, look at this.
It's not really, well, it's not really
Here's
like
the
he's
show.
pointing at it. It's more like he's about to cup his balls. You're like, here it is. I'm going to weigh this thing right now very carefully in my hand.
Did someone say, hey, everyone AEW, let's all get together. Let's have a big AEW photo. And then Tony just jumped into the middle? Because Tony's the only one like not standing still.
He should have also, well, he's not, he's standing still. It's just
everyone else in here that look at him.
he's squirming a bit, but because he's mashed himself in between MJF and his father, his coat is pulled because it's not unbuttoned. And it's like they've wrapped him in some type of vinyl bag that they're trying to contain him in. And then apparently there's a waiter over beside. See the guy behind Jeff Jarrett? He's not even looking at the camera.
That's Max Caster.
He's probably, sir, you need to put your card down for another hour on the ballroom.
I think that's Max Caster. If you notice, he's a head taller than everyone else.
He's wearing glasses.
He wants to be able to
Looks
read.
like, well, all right. Looks very bookish to me.
Is it a good idea to invite Tony? Like, do you think like if you invite Tony and you give him a few drinks and he has a good enough time that maybe he'll just say, it's on me?
How do you know he was invited?
He had to be invited. There's no way MJF, you could argue a political player in AEW, there's no way he's not inviting Tony Khan. No way.
Well, I've just said Tony might have just showed up on his own and said, hey, he's like me. His invitation got lost in the mail. No, I'm sure he was invited, and he may very well have paid for something. Who knows?
Who do you think gave the best gift? Who do you think gave the worst gift?
Again, without knowing who all these people are, I would have to think Shivani would have been the cheapest. Yeah, Shivani was probably just there for the free champagne.
All right, Jim, well, of course.
Who are the girls? I recognize Karen.
I believe that's Thunder Rosa in front of Karen. And behind,
well, she's gained weight.
And will you be nice? She looks fine.
Well, I am. She was painfully thin before. That's a compliment.
She looks very nice. And behind her, I believe, is the widow of Brody Lee. I think Amanda Huber's her name, and that's Aubrey
Okay,
Edwards.
Well, then I wouldn't be expected to. Is that Aubrey Edwards? Jesus Christ, is she standing on a box? That's Aubrey Edwards. She has a very defiant grin on her face, but again, she looks massively tall. It's just maybe none of these people are very fucking big.
Well, we will stay on top of the wedding news and see what more photos and whatever else we could find in the future. Jim,
yes,
you had a big wedding, and your photos somehow escaped. After
sucked like this,
after they were posted all over social media, you may want to sue.
I'll tell you exactly what I'd gall darn do. I would call the best lawyer that I know, and I would say just go scorched earth on these some bitches and leave no stone unturned until you have broken them and put them in a poorhouse and put all their money in my pocket, and I know who I'd call.
Call Stephen P. News. If you need to sue. An outlaw mud show or two. He'll sue the rest.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Stephen P. New, the wizard, the man behind the curtain that pulls all the strings in the jurisprudence world, newlawoffice.com, 87750-STEVE. He will quickly determine what the right course of action is, and then he will blister a son of a gun, leave no meat on his bones, and leave the remains out in the desert for the vultures to pick and choose from. And he will get you compensated for the wrong that has been done to you, and that wrong will be righted. The frown will be turned upside down by the man, the myth, the legend, the barrister of champions, Stephen P. New, 877-50-STEVE.
That's right. Get even with Stephen, newlawoffice.com. But Jim, let's get a few more questions, or a few questions. We haven't had any yet, really.
I've got some questions, but go
Jim,
ahead.
let's get some questions here before we wrap things up. Speaking of West Virginia, this one was sent via the Cult of Cornette Facebook group by Caleb Hinchman. As a native West Virginian, I'd like to know Jim's go-to Tudor's biscuit order.
Well, first of all, it's not Caleb, it's Caleb. Caleb, everybody knows that. And I can't remember what the ding-dong name of the thing is, but I'll tell you what, I like a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. A big old sausage patty and nicely fluffed up scrambled eggs on top of there with some cheese and maybe even a piece of bacon. But at Tudor's Biscuit World, they have a variety of biscuits to fit all tastes and shapes and sizes.
Promo code JCE